the orbital citadel of Astra. 9 gleamed like a silver crown against the violet haze of the nebulan expanse. From a distance, the massive station seemed majestic, peaceful even, but inside its metallic arteries thrummed a constant tension. After all, Astra 9 served a dual purpose. It was both a royal seat of power and a military fortress. And today, it was the stage for my public humiliation. At least that was the plan. I stood in the grand hall, a room so vast that voices disappeared into its shimmering dome. Thousands of spectators filled the amphitheater like balconies. Nobles in jeweled silks, soldiers in polished armor, citizens curious enough to gamble a day's wages for a seat. A crystalline spotlight pinned me to the center platform like an insect in a specimen jar. Kept my posture straight, outwardly calm, inwardly calculating. Because although I was merely Lieutenant Kaylee's Vorn, a navigation specialist with no political power, I knew something no one else here did. Something even the royal commander himself had overlooked. And that ignorance would be his undoing. The floor rumbled slightly as the enormous chrome doors parted and Royal Commander Thalek Dravian entered. Every muscle in his towering frame radiated authority. The obsidian cape, the platinum chestplate, the golden crown band of his rank, it all signaled the same thing. He commanded Astra 9, and he answered only to the Emperor. Behind him trailed a procession of guards and high-born officials. Their collective scorn washed over me like a physical wave. Dravian smirked. "Lieutenant Vorn," he boomed, his voice echoing through the dome. "You stand accused of insubordination, dereliction of duty, and concealing a forbidden artifact of unknown origin." Murmurs rippled through the hall. They weren't actually here to judge the charges. The truth was simpler. Dravian hated me. Ever since I'd corrected him during a tactical briefing, proving that his favored strategy would have resulted in catastrophic losses. He'd looked at me the way a starved predator looks at an easy meal. He wasn't accustomed to being wrong. And he certainly wasn't accustomed to being corrected by a mid-ranking nobody. Now he wanted revenge. The trial had been staged for spectacle, not justice. Dravian's smirk widened as he gestured to the hovering holoscreen. "Your fate," he continued, "shall be determined here before all of Astra 9. Kneel and confess your guilt, or face exile into the expanse." Exile. A guaranteed death sentence. The crowd waited breathlessly. Dravian's strategy was obvious. In his mind I had no choice. Either I begged for mercy, publicly lowering myself before him, or I embraced oblivion. He expected tears, fear, broken pride. But he didn't expect what I was about to say. Before he could speak again, I lifted my chin. "I accept." A gasp tore through the hall. Even Dravian blinked, unsure he'd heard correctly. "You accept exile," he said slowly, eyes narrowed. "No," I replied, letting a cold smile curl across my lips. "I accept your terms. All of them. Including the clause you seem to have forgotten." There was no such clause in the publicly announced charges, but there were always layers in royal protocols. Buried deep in the legal script of Astra 9's command hearings was a forgotten law, one older than the Empire itself. It stated that if an accused officer accepted all charges without contest, the commander must activate the artifact in question before sentencing, as a demonstration of transparency. The artifact I'd allegedly concealed. Dravian scoffed. "There is no clause." "Display the law archive," I said loudly. The hall's Central Intelligence Corps responded immediately to my command code. Another detail Dravian had forgotten. Navigation specialists had partial access to ancient archives. Golden letters materialized in the air, spinning slowly, and the crowd read it. Loud. Together. Dravian's face paled. He couldn't back out now. Not without violating the very laws that granted him power. My gamble had succeeded. I had forced his hand. A guard stepped forward, carrying the object at the center of this fiasco. A sphere no larger than a fist, swirling with shifting constellations. Everyone believed it was some dangerous alien relic I'd hidden. The truth. I'd found it drifting near a collapsed wormhole, a malfunctioning starseed, an ancient device theorized to link consciousness across time. And unlike everyone else, I knew exactly how it worked. Activate it, I said softly. Dravian hesitated, jaw tight. But refusing would break royal protocol, worse than any insult to his pride. With visible reluctance, he placed his palm on the starseed. The surface pulsed once. Twice. Then the world exploded into light. The crowd vanished. The hall melted away. In their place arose a storm of memories. Dravian's memories, projected in luminous streams for everyone to see. Every secret fear. Every hidden cruelty. Every lie he'd buried under layers of power. Gasps filled the void as the visions unfolded. Dravian ordering the destruction of a refugee transport he'd labeled a threat. Dravian falsifying star charts to hide his tactical blunders. Dravian poisoning political rivals. Dravian manipulating battles so he could claim victories he didn't earn. The starseed fed on consciousness. And when activated, it revealed the truth of the one who touched it. He staggered back as though struck. "No, stop this, shut it down," he shouted. But the starseed was linked now. It would not stop until its cycle completed. The final vision showed him plotting this very public trial, not for justice, but to break me publicly, to remind officers of their place, as he'd bragged to his advisors. When the light snapped away, the hall was dead silent. Dravian stood shaking, trembling with humiliation. The faces staring down at him were no longer reverent. They were horrified. I let the silence linger before speaking. "Commander Dravian," I said slowly, deliberately, "it appears the artifact has revealed more about you than about me." The Emperor's advisors rushed into hurried conference. The law was clear. When a commander was exposed as corrupt or treasonous through a verified relic, their authority was immediately revoked. Dravian lunged for me, rage twisting his features. "You planned this." The guards intercepted him. Hard. As he was dragged away, he screamed accusation after accusation, but none of it mattered. His power was gone. His name ruined. The Emperor's chief advisor approached me with an appraising look. "Lieutenant Vorn," she said, "you have done the Empire an unexpected service." "I only followed protocol," I replied. Her expression softened with something resembling amusement. "Your service to Astra 9 is commendable. Effective immediately, you are promoted to Commander of Orbital Operations." A promotion I hadn't expected, but one I now intended to use wisely. Months passed. Astra 9 hummed with renewed energy, no longer stifled by Dravian's tyranny. The starseed, now under controlled study, revealed technologies that had been lost for millennia. New pathways for travel, new strategies for peace. Some nights, I walked the viewing deck alone, watching the nebulan expanse shimmer with colors older than civilization. And I thought about that moment. The moment I said, "I accept." Simple phrase. Gamble. Turning point. Dravian had wanted to humiliate me. But all he had done was hand me the weapon of his own defeat. Sometimes I realized the most powerful rebellion isn't defiance. It's acceptance. Acceptance. And the knowledge of exactly what that acceptance will unleash.